Greta Thunberg is so annoying. I am behind the protests about climate change and I'm not denying climate change is happening, but I find Greta so annoying with her preaching holier than thou talks. At first, I was like, isn't this great, a young girl like her with such a worthy cause, but now she irritates the hell out of me when I hear her talk. She shouts and preaches and I don't think this endears people to her causes in the slightest. I agree. I don't necessarily disagree with what she had to say, she just seems entitled to me in how she said it. This is a pretty popular opinion, but let me add why that's not a great take. I am a researcher at the cutting edge of technology that works on improving the stuff that goes into the electrification of vehicles and renewable energy. However, technology is not a be-all end-all solution to this. This requires coordinated efforts from policymakers, politicians, entrepreneurs, and researchers, and there nothing being done from the first two to satisfy the required measures as stated in the IPCC. Politicians respond to public opinion, not us researchers, cause we don't matter in terms of popular discourse, but they do listen when groups of people voice their opinion. Listen to what she says. All she says is to listen to the scientists, the people who have been yelling from the rooftops for decades who are being ignored. She has done more to get attention to the cause and galvanized a whole generation of young people. Hell, I have so many kids who want to take up research on renewable energy cause they were inspired by her, and that's pretty good. She has done more for the conversation around the looming climate change threat than the communication wing of scientists have ever done. Nobody even know what the IPCC report was except for basement nerds like me until she asked people to see it. Her personality might not be for everyone, but that's okay. We need all hands on deck. Exactly, great take. It feels like she's just entitled and likes to shout at people, and I absolutely hate that politicians just smile and take it. The worst part, though, is that if you criticize her, people just call you a bully and crap, as though you can't criticize children with Asperger's. I just think it's ridiculous that while talking about climate change, she talked shit about nuclear power, the cleanest energy source. I think the men in their 50s who talk about how much they want her dead are more annoying. I think you're on the wrong subreddit. This is r/unpopular opinion. Mr. Beast has done more for the environment than Greta ever will. I agree, she used her platform to attack the Australian government over the bushfires, not excusing them at all, but didn't think to maybe throw up a link to help donate to the animals or anything. She is like one of those vegans who attacks people rather than educating them. I mean, if you're butthurt by a pissed off kid so bad that her passion for our planet somehow drives you to feel less so, that sounds like a you problem, eh? This is one of the most popular opinions on the right ever. B. No, she's not. Passionate doesn't mean annoying. Edit, and people do listen, maybe not you ignorant fools though, and why is everyone so mad at some teen girl? I agree. Greta's attitude has made people I know not care about climate change because of the way she discusses the problem. She is no way an expert on climate change. Her opinion is literally as good as anyone else's, so she's not qualified in any way, at least not any more so than your average person, to really tell anyone else what to do about it, much less world leaders. She is 16 years old. She has never had to have a job, take care of a family, buy her own food, or anything of that sort. She is the opposite of qualified to understand the potential costs of climate change action. The possibility that poorly designed plans to fight climate change could spell disasters for not just the rich, but also the poor, would not occur to her or impact her life in any measurable way. She's not even diplomatic. She just says shit like, "How dare you," to a room full of grown-ups that have actual responsibilities. She accuses people of stealing her childhood, while she spends it demanding adult respect without actually doing any of the things adults have to do to earn respect and the right to be heard. She doesn't help convince anyone to change their mind, like the one thing that climate deniers haven't been exposed to was an unqualified teenager telling them what to think. Really? That's the strategy? They don't believe us about the environment. You know who they haven't heard from? An angry teenage white girl. 5. The strategy behind this is so cheap. You know what, I'm not even a climate denier, but my 4-year-old niece is. She also thinks the world is flat and that vaccines cause autism. And this is her future we're talking about, so you better sit down and listen to her, you old farts. And don't you dare to try to silence a 4-year-old girl just fighting for her future. If you do, it just shows how closed-minded, sexist, and ageist you are. You could do this with nearly any political stance, it doesn't add credibility. When did we start having to keep quiet about not listening to a 16-year-old tell us what to do? When did it become offensive to say that you don't take a random 16-year-old's opinion seriously, especially regarding global economics and climate science?